Alberta skies and sunshine. The expanse of the Spruce Meadows International Ring. The world's best horses and riders. All of the ingredients necessary for season number 44 at Spruce Meadows. And the Spruce Meadows National Tournament, presented by Rolex.
Welcome to the 1976 Spruce Meadows Masters, and this afternoon we'll be featuring highlights of the...
Ian Miller and Big Ben, our 1991 Limited.
Are you ready? I hope so, Ian. This is going to be really exciting.
Under spectacular conditions and beautiful Alberta sunshine, the International Ring at Spruce Meadows awaits the first Grand Prix of the season, the RBC Grand Prix of Canada, presented by Rolex. There's a look down on the International Ring as course designer Peter Grant puts the final touches on this Grand Prix course, and the world's best horses and riders who have qualified for today get ready to take the test. A total of 42 horse rider combinations have made the cut to start in this first Grand Prix of the Spruce Meadows season. There's a look at Sami Al-Daham of Egypt as he struts out from the RBC signature Oxer. The crowd continues to build, the final touches being put on the course, and the horses being prepared to come into the International Ring. Some of the very best in the world here to compete, including this man, former world #1 and defending champion Kent Farrington. He's won this event 3 times on different horses, and today it will be Credence that carries him around the RBC track. Steve Gurdat, the reigning World Cup champion and current #1 ranked rider in the world, competing in his first Spruce Meadows Summer Series. The Swiss ace looking for his first Spruce Meadows Grand Prix title. Canada's Eric Lamaze, whose Spruce Meadows resume is without peer. $5 million in career earnings, including 2 victories in the RBC Grand Prix with the legendary Hickstead. His battle to compete while fighting cancer is now well known. Today his battle is against the world's best, and for that he will look to his 13-year-old gelding, Choco Kid. Spectacular conditions, tens of thousands of fans. There's a look at 8-time champion Ian Miller passing on advice to his children Amy and Jonathan, who will be carrying the maple leaf today at Spruce Meadows, when we continue with the RBC Grand Prix of Canada, presented by Rolex. A look down on the International Ring at Spruce Meadows as we commence to begin our coverage of the RBC Grand Prix of Canada. 42 horse rider combinations have started today. Here's a look at some of the early going. Reigning Canadian champion Nicole Walker aboard Falco set the tone early with a clear round within the time allowed, and thus guaranteeing Canada a spot in the jump-off. That combination will be going to the Pan American Games later this year. But it's been a day for the Irish thus far. The sun shining on Jordan Coyle aboard the 10-year-old Dutch warm-blood gelding Eristoff, powering around this course well within the time allowed and forcing a jump-off. There's a smiling Irishman in the International Ring, to be sure. Captain Brian Cornane has had great success over the last couple of seasons, bringing this beautiful gelding Ermic to the top of the sport. Now at 10 years of age, he's showing his stuff, and he certainly did so today, posting a second clear for the Irish. And Connor Swale, always tough on Grand Prix day at Spruce Meadows, came in aboard the beautiful gray and laid down a patented and coveted clear round performance. He and Kost van Heist will be back representing Ireland in the jump off. There's a look at the clears to date. One maple leaf amongst them, reigning Canadian champion Nicole Walker. And the Irish are chasing hard with plenty of horse rider combinations still to come, including the world's best who have come to Spruce Meadows to celebrate this 44th season of sport. There's a look at the flags that will be represented today. Eric Lamaze and Choco Kid, the great Beezy Madden with her rising star coach. And there you see really the heart of the order. Philip Weishaupt, Kent Farrington, and Steve Gurdat will be the last three through the clock tower here at Spruce Meadows today. We'll start with a trip down under. Turn our attention to Rowan Willis of Australia aboard Blue Movie. What lies ahead? 580 meters, 14 numbered obstacles, 17 jumping efforts for this 2006 model Anglo-European sport horse. Beautiful chestnut mare, as Rowan Willis is just sizing up the impressive atmosphere of the international ring here at Spruce Meadows. And Peter Grant has deployed many of the championship suite of jumps, including opening up over the nice Beijing dragon jump from the 2008 Olympic Games. Hard turn back towards the shadows. Now they make their way down the east side of the stadium here. Obstacles on course standing as high as 1.60 meters. Now the Beijing wall and the bending line to the 13 feet of water. Charging hard, giving the horse a chance. Up, over, and on to the planks now. Ooh, the water judge making her way over to see if they did in fact clear the water. And judging by the sound of the crowd, the flag must have gone up. We'll have to have a look at that. This horse is jumping very well right now. It would be a shame if the water jump is the only issue on course. As Rowan Willis and Blue Movie continue their tour around the international ring, looking to hold it to 4 if at all possible. Keep an eye on the clock. Our time allowed, 87 seconds, becomes a bit irrelevant now with problems at the combination as they set up towards the final Rolex vertical. Nicely over it. A quick pace around the course. Time not a problem, but it appears 2 rails and possibly a foot either on the tape or in the water has also incurred another 4 faults for the chestnut mare under the guidance of Rowan Willis. Let's watch him size up the water here. Starts to give her good encouragement. Pops up. Well, that doesn't present decisive. There you go. If the equipment touches, there are no faults assessed. There has to be an impression from the foot, and I think that is what the judge was intent on confirming prior to putting the flag up there. So Rowan Willis, little question with a foot on the tape with Blue Movie. The Irish are enjoying great success here at Spruce Meadows, and Dara Kenny wants to be a part of that. Next on course, the charismatic Irishman aboard Babalu. This is a 2005 model mare, Oldenburg in breeding. And Dara Kenny has scored victory on a couple of occasions in the meter 50 division here at Spruce Meadows already during the Spruce Meadows National Tournament. And now at the top of the standards, he'll look to keep the clear round jumping as part of his consistent record of performance. And with that, down comes the top level of the Beijing wall. And then not a very good effort at the water for the big chestnut here. So not the way Dara Kenny would have liked to set out today aboard Babalu. Three Irishmen have currently qualified to advance to the jump off. Dara Kenny now setting up for this final line of fences, number 12 of the 14 numbered obstacles on course. This is a big test here with the vertical oxer. The big chestnut perhaps just not warmed up enough or impressed enough in the early going of this competition, or in the latter going for that matter, as he takes the final rail down as well. So not the greatest of days today for Ireland's Derek Kenny aboard Babalu. The problem started at the Beijing wall, the first of the 4 faults on course. There you have a look at him coming in towards it. Just the slightest of nudges at the top, but you can see that's a completely flat surface. Doesn't take much if you're riding a 1,300-pound sport horse to bring that down. Terrific day for international show jumping here at Spruce Meadows as the crowd continues to build, as does the drama on Grand Prix Day. And the smile on the face of the young rider next into the ring is that of Karen Poley of Japan. Her aspirations, of course, a year from now on her road to the Tokyo Olympics. And with this horse, she has certainly proved that she can compete at the 5-star level. This is With Wings, the 2003 model Dutch Warmblood. Karen Poley, Ivy League graduate, now looking to be a full-time tour player, as it were, at the 5-star level. A clear round today would go a long way to accomplish that. And the clear round dreams have fallen early at just the second fence on course for With Wings and Karen Poley. So important to give the respect and attention to every obstacle on course here. If riders take years to prepare to get to this level, so do course designers, and they use every trick in their trade to make it both a technical and physical test. And now a second rail on course with the ominous Canadian planks, and troubles at the Liverpool as well for With Wings and Karen Poley. So it's not going very well today for our young Japanese athlete on course. And she actually is going to surrender, as it were, and save her teammate for another day. So she pulls up With Wings and will head back through the clock tower much earlier than she had hoped for after problems at the Liverpool. Here you see the horse coming in, that just being fooled, not really realizing it was an oxer, dropping his legs. And the horses sometimes come into those Liverpools and they glance down at the water and it distracts them and they don't realize that the oxer has been set. Here you can see the great veteran Eric Lamaze taking his time to go to the Liverpools and to the Dutch bicycle to make sure that Choco Kid has a good sense of what's on course today. And the legendary former Olympic champion, former #1 in the world, all-time money winner here at Spruce Meadows with over $5 million in career earnings, is underway with his final inspection. There's a wall he knows well. He jumped Hickstead over that wall in Hong Kong in 2008 to win the Olympic gold medal. What a story this man is, and the story continues, of course. His battle with brain cancer over the last 2 years has been now made public. What a resilient athlete, what a ferocious competitor, and what a will to compete this man has. So he is underway now with Choco Kid. He will give every fence on this course the respect it deserves. Let's see if Choco Kid responds accordingly. He loves a horse that carries great pace on course. You see it with this horse, you see it with Fine Lady, you see it with Coco Bongo, of course with the great Hickstead. Now to the water. Terrific effort, no question there. Now balance up to take on these huge Canada planks. And over to the Liverpool. He took the gelding over there to show him there was water underneath it. Let's see if it pays off. Nicely done, nicely out. Bit of a hush in the stadium here now. This crowd so partisan to this man and his story. He has provided some of the great moments in the history of this ring over his career here, which started back in the early 1990s Ooh, a bit of a touch there coming into the triple, and had to scoot over the oxer, but he gets it done. Now they're sensing a possible clear. Up and over. So Canada's Eric Lamaze ticks the box to put a second Canadian into the jump off, joining Nicole Walker. Teammate Tiffany Foster looking on. An appreciative crowd congratulating Eric Lamaze, who they will see again in the jump off here at Spruce Meadows. The RBC Grand Prix of Canada may have his name engraved on it once again.
This is going to be a special jump off because we already had some quick ones, but remember, they come back in the same order as they jump.
Here he is coming down the final line, the triple combination. Terrific effort there by Choco Kid. And then here, Lamaze balancing, and Tiffany Foster looking on, and yes, knowing a clear has been posted. 3 seconds to spare, so lots of pace in that round for Eric Lamaze. Now to coach BZ Madden. Another all-time great. She has Olympic gold medals. She has World Cup titles. She has almost every title there is to win here at Spruce Meadows, to her credit, over a career that dates back to the late 1980s when she first arrived here as a teenager, member of the American team with the likes of Ann Krasinski and Leslie Howard, and has since gone on to be one of the all-time greats. And amazingly, she has never won the first Grand Prix of the season here at Spruce Meadows, the RBC Grand Prix of Canada. She'll look to do that, or qualify to do that, with Coach. Coach is an 11-year-old Holsteiner. Now let's see how this gelding handles the water. The bending line in, there's the encouragement, there's the stretch, no problem. She is so quiet in the saddle. She is so balanced, so efficient. Into the Liverpools, great effort there. Now bow the out gate, no distraction as they take on the Guadalajara Oxer with the pinstripe Mafia rails across the top. Those can be distracting to the horses. We have not qualified an American yet for the jump off here at Spruce Meadows. Will BZ Madden be the first of the red, white, and blue to get around this course with no faults within the time allowed? Time will not be a problem. Will the final fence? No. So BZ Madden is in. A clear round, a quick round, and she will come back in the latter stages of the jump off with the brilliant bay gelding Coach. Just another day at the office for the great BZ Madden. She will now settle Coach back into his routine, back in the international warm-up area, and put to work her strategy for the jump off, knowing that it's going to include some of the world's best, including the 3 we still have in our first round coverage. Will they advance? Looking at Philip Weishaupt, winner of the Grand Prix of Aachen, winner of the CP International here at the Spruce Meadows Masters a couple of years ago. Great German rider who's come up through the Ludger Beerbaum system in Germany. He's now the resident rider at Ludger Beerbaum's facilities. Underway with this big black mare, 12 years of age, Philip Weishaupt. Big effort over that oxer. Philip likes big, long horses, and this mare really fits the bill for him. He's a tall man, very strong rider, cut from the same cloth as Ludger Beerbaum. So far, so good. Let's see how she handles the double of Liverpools here, starting with the oxer, exiting with the vertical. Nicely in. nicely out. The Dutch bicycle, no problem there. So we'll line up to the Oxer, heading into the triple combination on a clear scorecard thus far. Let's see how this. Oh, and she puts on the brakes at the vertical, the A element of the triple combination, and that was an unexpected development. Certainly caught Philip Weishoff off guard. Have to see what happened, why that mare spit the bit out and put the brakes on. And then just steps through it like it was nothing, but the time faults are just marching on now. So that's a heartbreaker for Philip Weishoff. A clear round coming into the triple combination. Didn't lower a rail or even come close to lowering a rail on course, but she did not like the look of that A element of the triple combination coming in. Let's see what happens here. Comes off the Oxer nicely. Balancing, 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 and just did not like the point that that Philip got her to, and she just said, no way, I'm out of here. He certainly wasn't expecting it. A character building day on course there. Philip Weishoff thought he was home hosed and dried with a clear round. In 2018, Kent Farrington of the United States came into the international ring aboard Voyeur. He was coming off a severely broken leg sustained just 3 months prior. He came out, answered the bell with a double clear round to lay claim to his 4th title in the RBC Grand Prix of Canada.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the 4th time, Kent Farrington of the United States rides to victory on Saturday at the Spruce Meadows National.
A new year, a new course, a new horse. Kent Farrington this year aboard Credence. This beautiful little chestnut, such an energy bundle, but not without issues that he's had to sort out over the last year. And he has built Credence back up to the 5-star level. And let's see if they can get the job done now. This horse struggled a little bit with being overly impressed with this ring and getting a little bit too energetic. So the fine balance that Kent had to go through to harness that energy and not have it provide a distraction seems to have paid off. He did give him a bit of a look at the water coming in here during his 45-second countdown clock. Let's see if the horse answers well. Up. Oh, beautifully done. And now balance back up for the tricky planks. You can see he's really trying to calm Credence down as they head into the Liverpools. So much blood in this horse that he really needs to have to keep him focused and careful. Ooh, that's a light rail there. That's a disappointment. Gave it a good effort. So sitting on 4, will not advance to the jump off, will not defend the title as they size up the final vertical. 1.60 tall, and it too comes down. So Kent Farrington will be disappointed in that result. I don't think he'll be disappointed in the performance of the horse. Just a couple of small little touches on course resulting in 8 faults here. A pretty good effort, and just the lightest. It came down on the front rail. Back legs hitting the front rail of that Oxer. And then, of course, the final fence coming down as well. So Farrington will have a look at that. But Credence certainly delivered with some energy on course today with our final entry to go. Before we advance to the jump off, will that jump off include Steve Gerdat with the great Bianca? Another horse that has taken a few years to settle in. She is so full of energy and blood and awareness, but oh my, what a jumper. 2006 Swedish warm blood. This is Bianca with the great Steve Gerdat in for the ride. He always worried about bringing Bianca here because he thought the flags and the atmosphere and all that might be a little too much. This from a man who won the Olympic gold medal in London in 2012. He's won the World Cup on numerous occasions, including this year. So he knows horses for courses, but he decided this summer series he's going to see if Bianca could settle into Spruce Meadows, and she certainly seems to have. No problem with the water whatsoever. A clear 2 feet over the landing side, and then gives those bent Canadian planks the respect they deserve. She's just playing with these obstacles on course now. Steve would say he just has to stay out of her way. Get her to the right takeoff point. She is so careful. Now the triple. I think that was turf that flew up there. Hopefully it wasn't a horseshoe. You don't want to come into this triple combination down a wheel, but she seems to have handled it. And no problems whatsoever over the final vertical. 85.69. Time is fine. Score is clean, and Steve Gerdat and Bianca have advanced to the jump off, our final entry in the first round of competition here at Spruce Meadows, and that means he will be the last to go in the jump off. Here's a look at the great combination from Switzerland coming into the Dutch windmills. Look at the clearance over that fence by this beautiful mare. And then on the final fence, at least 4 inches with both the front and hind end to get over that 1.60 m Rolex vertical. So Steve Gerdat will prepare for the jump off here, looking for his first ever, and it's hard to believe, his first ever Spruce Meadows Grand Prix victory. Will the stars align for Steve Gerdat? The first round is in the books. Peter Grant goes to work constructing the jump off course. We'll be back with the 7 that have qualified right after this. .42 horse rider combinations started the day at Spruce Meadows. 7 have advanced over the Peter Grant designed course to come through the clock tower and contest the championship in the jump off. There's a look at the 7 we will see, featuring 2 Canadians, 3 Irishmen, an American, and world #1 Steve Gerdat, who has the anchor position, so he will know what needs to be done to win here at Spruce Meadows today. The leadoff rider is in a very different position. This is Canada's Nicole Walker, who's about to undertake this 360-meter track that features 8 jumping efforts over 7 numbered obstacles, 54 seconds the time allowed. That should not be a factor. In the case of equality of faults, time will be used to break those ties. So you've got to go high and you've got to go fast, and you have to find the balance. Can the reigning Canadian champion Nicole Walker, who's just starting her journey at the top level of international show jumping, get it done? That was a heck of a corner to start things off, and she's going to come out and show these others. Let's see if this big oxer gets in the way. Oh, course designer has invited them to really open up their stride there, but you have to check a little bit to balance the horse out and allow him to get his back end underneath him. Falco could not do it there and incurs a rail at that massive oxer that's just standing out in the middle of nowhere, actually. A new fence here in the jump off, and it catches the leadoff Canadian rider Nicole Walker. So no problem with the time. The horse was really jumping well. Eric Lamaze looking on, learning where he can save time, where he can be efficient, and he will give some respect, I would think, to that oxer that invites you to really speed up. But if you do, that can happen. Back legs, not high enough. Down comes the front rail of the oxer. 4 faults, 45.82. Nonetheless, currently leading the jump off here at Spruce Meadows. We'll see what the others do now.
Very quick, very careful. What can he do?
Jordan Coyle, one of the Coyle brothers, Daniel and Jordan, who are here at Spruce Meadows for the 2019 Summer Series. Aristoff is this beautiful gray under saddle with Jordan Coyle. They were the second clear of the first round of competition, coming back in our early going of this jump off round of 7. Big strided horse. Little bit of problem making the corner there. It was one of those, give me 40 acres and I'll turn this rig around. But got it done and then pops up nicely over that oxer. I suspect they'll be somewhat slower than Nicole Walker was, but that will not mean anything if they keep all the rails up. There he is, slowing down the big gray and getting him nicely up and over. Bit of a loud trip through the combination there. And over the final fence. So also on 4 faults and a little bit slower than Walker. So she continues to lead here as the 10-year-old Dutch warm blood gelding carries Jordan Coyle to a 4-fault trip. Here you can see what happened. What is now a double combination. Has a bit of a touch there, but you can't get away with it at the oxer. And there's brother Daniel looking on, hoping to take the lead here, but it was not to be, as we've seen 2 of 7 here in the jump off at Spruce Meadows today. The next of the Irish that have qualified for the jump off, getting ready to hear the bell and take on the test here at Spruce Meadows. Captain Brian Cornane is underway now. He's aboard Ermic. This is the 10-year-old bay gelding, big strided horse. Second round of competition here now, does not cut inside the flagpole there, so giving this horse plenty of room to see the fence. Now he'll pick up a little pace. There has not been a clear round yet in the jump off, so he knows this. And he's going to try and post a clear, make up some ground where he can, but give the horse a chance at each and every fence. And so far, this bay gelding has responded well. Here's a wide berth to get in as well. He's 2 seconds off the pace, but if he keeps a clear scorecard, he'll move to the top of the standings. This final line has proved a little bit problematic. Balance. Back legs catch. Oh, and 8 faults there. So back legs, then front legs for 8 faults. Ooh, that's a tough final 100 meters on course here, as they were sitting on a perfect scorecard until the final 3 jumps, and each of them comes down for a total of 12 and a slow time of 48.57. There you see problems coming in and problems getting out of that tricky double combination. And the final effort on course also comes down. So 12 faults for Captain Brian Cornane. Peter Grant has served up a difficult test, it seems, here in the jump off, as we've seen a number of different obstacles at a number of different places cause problems. Has anything been learned? Let's see if Connor Swale has solved it. In he comes aboard Kost van Heist, the 9-year-old Belgium warm blood. So bit of a youngster here. 9 is an early age to be competing in the jump off in a 5-star Grand Prix. But that is the storyline here today with Connor Swale. he probably will not be able to deliver the same kind of speed as those that will follow him. So he'll look for a clear round, not wanting to confuse the young horse here. Horse is jumping very well thus far. Handy little corner, even with a slip. He's about a second off, but he has no fault. And if he can get through these final three, he'll go to the top of the standings. 2 of 3 handled, 1 to go. Keep it clean, you go to the top of the standings, and keep it clean he does. Connor Swale posts a coveted double clear at Spruce Meadows, 47:20 the time. It certainly can be beat, but can it be beat with a clear performance? Impressive round from this 9-year-old Belgium warm blood gelding. No problems whatsoever, but that extreme speed part of the equation has not been brought into this horse's toolkit yet. That's a wise move by Connor Swale. You can hear the crowd in the background welcoming Eric Lamaze into the stadium. Connor Swale's very happy with his youngster's performance. So from the 10-year-old gelding, we go up now to the 13-year-old Choco Kid. This horse will have the speed element in its resume. And of course, Eric Lamaze loves to ride fast. So let's see if Lamaze and the kid can get it done here. That would certainly delight this crowd here at Spruce Meadows. Eric Lamaze underway, double clean in a time faster than 47:20, and he'll take the lead. Look at him race towards this oxer. Oh, what an effort by the kid. Choco Kid now coming across the stadium. He knows who's following him in the jump off. He's going to leave it all on the table here, it seems. Has to execute this turn. Get the chestnut balanced and over. Now the combination. You hear people in the stadium saying, "Run, Eric, run." These are big fences to run at. And look at the answer from Choco Kid there with 1 to go. Will he go to the top of the standings? Yes! Eric Lamaze of Canada, much to the delight of the crowd here. Double clean, 46:25. So much quicker on course than that effort put in by Connor Swale at 46:25. I think he may have left the door open, particularly when you think of BZ Madden and Steve Gerdat still to come. But a terrific effort from a terrific athlete in Eric Lamaze. Here he is coming across the course and just full open gallop to this big oxer. Choco Kid saw it well out. Eric saw the distance and they nailed it. And then no problems at the final obstacle on course at about the 350-meter mark of this 360-meter track. Choco Kid's day is done. Now it's to Coach and BZ Madden. This will be a very different looking trip. BZ Madden does not have that hurried, energetic style. She's so efficient, she's so fast, and she loves horses with a quick step. But they never look to be rushing their way around the ring until you see the clock stop. Let's see if the same holds true today as BZ Madden fires up the engines on this 11-year-old Holsteiner gelding, Coach. She has never won this Grand Prix at Spruce Meadows before, which in itself is quite amazing as one of the all-time money leaders. In fact, number 2 all-time on the list here at Spruce Meadows. Carrying some good pace in. Nicely done. Horse doesn't quite pat the ground the way we saw Choco Kid doing it. There's a nice turn. She's a second up. Balance, balance. In, out. 1 to go. She seems to have the time. Madden and Coach focusing in on the final fence. Up. Oh, and not over, and they had the time. Beezy Madden posts a time of 44.62, but she has the last rail down, and that man, Eric Lamaze, dodges a bullet from one of the greats in the sport. That's a heartbreaker for Beezy Madden and coach. Down this final line up. Not sure that was the feet or the belly pad on coach that caught the rail. But as the Madden team looks on, smile on their faces, but disappointment for sure as coach lowers the last fence on course in the jump off with the time that would have won it. The last man that can catch Eric Lamaze, another Olympic champion, Steve Gerdat, champion of the London Games. Eric Lamaze, champion of the Beijing Games. Eric Lamaze, former world #1. Steve Gerdat, current world #1. This is great drama on the international ring at Spruce Meadows as he fires up Bianca. This man has never won a Grand Prix in this stadium, and he would dearly love to do so today. Underway with Bianca. This is Steve Gerdat. Great focus. Coming into the Oxer, nicely covered.
That was the same as you, number-wise, but
This
looks
is
slower.
slower.
You can hear in the background Tiffany Foster talking to Eric Lamaze about where Steve is. He's almost 2 seconds back, so she seems to be scooting a bit versus opening up her stride. And I know Steve had worried about that might be part of her nervous energy in the stadium here. Now she's opening it up a bit, but is it too little too late? Nicely over the final fence, but yes, it is too little too late, and Eric Lamaze writes another incredible chapter to his story, not only here at Spruce Meadows, but in the global community of sport. He wanted the attention this week to be on him as an athlete, not him as a man who's been fighting the fight with cancer, and right now he has found victory in the international ring at Spruce Meadows. We will meet our champion when we return.
Ladies and gentlemen, another historic moment at Spruce Meadows. You can't author scripts like this. Eric Lamaze of Canada, the champion of the RBC Grand Prix, presented by Rolex. What an amazing story. Eric, it's been a while for this particular one. It must be a very special feeling.
It's going to be a hard one. Yeah, it is a special feeling. Since the last time I won this competition was on the Great Ixted. Took me a few years to get back to this position. I didn't think today would be the day, but what a great horse. And Checo Kid and my good friend Steve Gerdat, I think looked after me today. But I don't know, the words can't express what I'm feeling at the moment. It's one of the victory that I will cherish forever.
As will the people who are in attendance and watching around the world. Another memorable moment, Eric. Tell us about the jump-off round and your approach with Checo Kid.
Well, he's a very quick horse, but doesn't have the longer stride. So on this field, I am at sometimes disadvantage because of his stride. But having said that, he's very catty and very maneuverable around the turn, the short turns, 1 to 2, and things like that. And he sure doesn't give up. I was running out of steam coming to this double. I was hoping that was the last, but then I looked up and saw Rolex. I said, one more to go. So anyway, we kept on going, and at that point I said, I'm not sure if it's going to be good enough, but leave it up. And that horse, he's careful, and he listened, and he sure put in 30% effort today.
Nice to rely on a teammate and the man who's had the best seats in the house for many of your memorable moments here. Jeff Boyd, what a great competition here at Spruce Meadows today.
Ian, we're just so proud. I mean, we've been connected to Spruce Meadows back to '76, and such a wonderful facility, and to be part of Eric's victory today, it just warms my heart. It's special for us, and I sincere congratulations to you, Eric.
Well said, Jeff. Indeed, part of the story since 1976, many of the great moments from this man and the great Hickstead, but today it was Chaco Kid and Eric Lamaze who will get their names on the RBC trophy. Gentlemen, if you would, kindly step forward. A day you'll long remember, ladies and gentlemen. Eric Lamaze and Chaco Kid lay claim to the RBC Grand Prix of Canada.